So you're thinking of moving to the Oklahoma City area, and those of you seriously thinking of moving to OKC are probably interested in the housing market. I know a lot of you have been asking for market updates, so I wanted to start doing these at least every couple months, and if you really enjoy them, I might start doing them once a month. So let me know in the comments what you think. So let's just hop right into it. All right. Who's excited? Let's go. So for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna stick mostly with single family homes. It's a overall better representation of what we're looking at as far as comparison. So we're gonna kind of keep it simple and streamlined. If you'd like me to go into more detail about anything, of course, ask any questions that you may have down in the comments and I'll be happy to answer for you. All right, so here we are in May of 2024. So we've got the data pulled up through April here that we're just gonna kind of run through. And what better to start off with the number of new listings. So here in the Oklahoma City metro and throughout our MLS here in the Oklahoma City area. So the number of new listings in April 2024 is 3,304 brand new listings in April, which is compared to 2,441 in April of 2023. So that is honestly a good thing. We're seeing some uptick in some inventory, and we generally do, as the summer months warm up, we do see sellers generally coming to the market with selling their homes. So that's a good thing, but we're seeing an increase of 35% year over year. So that's a good thing. That's definitely going to help this lack of inventory challenge that we've had the last few years. You can see now the pending sales is also up. Not quite to the same percentage, but the number of pending sales in April of 2024 is 2,437 when compared to 2023. You see the number here is 2,173 pending sales. So that's up 12.1% here, year over year. And going to the number of closed sales. So we're just over 2,000 in the month of April 2024, 2,006. as compared to 1,784 in April of 2023. So year over year, up 12.4% on closed sales. So you can see this increase in inventory is certainly helping things out. And you can see there's still plenty of buyers in the marketplace, which is, hopefully this number is gonna continue to grow in terms of the inventory available. That's gonna help that demand out. But there's certainly still plenty of people out there, lots of which have been kind of waiting on the sidelines. And a lot of people are deciding they're kind of tired of waiting and they're ready to buy now. So now's the time for them. We're seeing a lot more options available. And a number that's not represented necessarily on the data here, but we are definitely still getting a good amount of relocation from out of state. In fact, that's mostly what I do. If you're new here to the channel, you may or may not know that I'm a real estate agent here in the Oklahoma City area, and I work with a ton of relocation home buyers. So speaking of, if you're thinking to move into the Oklahoma City area, I'd be happy to help you. Just reach out. All my contact information is in the description below. So let's jump over to the days on market until sale. That number has stayed very steady from 2023. In April, you see that was 44, still right at 44 days. So not a lot has changed there. Now, something I do want to point out, I think it's important to note, median sale price here in April of 2023 was $253,291, and that has jumped a little bit, not a ton, but to $255,000. That represents a 0.7% increase. Of course, this is across the Oklahoma City metro or throughout the entire MLS. So that number might look a little more dramatic in certain areas of the metro, but on the whole, median home prices have jumped just a little under 1%. And I want to point that out simply to say that, home sales are starting to stabilize somewhat, but we are still seeing growth. And I'll get back to that, here in just a moment, but I just wanted to point that out. Now, if you look at the average sale price, I find that number to be not quite as helpful a number overall, mainly because there's always going to be just such a wide range of home sales in every month. And so that median seems to be a little more telling number, but you can see that is up as well, just a little under 1% from 294, almost 295, all the way to 297.5, April 2024. Now, this next metric is percent of list price received. So just a little about what that number indicates. So when a seller lists their home at a certain price, this number indicates the percentage of that number that the home actually sells for in terms of the final purchase price. Now, this number can be a little bit deceptive here. You see that in 2023, that number, percent of list price received, was 98.7%. In April of 2024, that is 98.5%. So very small, but it is a reduction or a change of negative 0.2%. So about 1/5 of 1% down. Now, why is that important, or why is that worth pointing out? Well, I just want to point out that that is not to be mistaken as home values dropping. A question I get quite a bit from home buyers who are reaching out to me from all over the country are asking, hey Jonathan, I see that home prices and values are going down in certain areas of the country in Oklahoma City. And I just always want to stop and correct that a little bit. We are seeing some stabilization. We are not seeing values going down in certain areas in Oklahoma City proper. As a matter of fact, I think we're actually up over 2% when it comes to this number here, which is the median sale price. And as we just mentioned before, it's actually up not quite 1%, but 0.7%. So the point I'm trying to make with all of that is that this percent of list price received is not to be conflated if you see that number going down slightly with home values dropping. Those two are not the same for a few reasons. One of the main reasons is that list prices can frankly be overpriced, and so that definitely takes that into account. If somebody grossly overprices their home and has to reduce that price, that's not an indication of a drop in value, because that grossly overpriced home never had that beginning value to begin with, if that makes sense. So if I made that a little more complicated than I should have, just let me know if you'd like some clarification down in the comments. I'll be happy to answer questions. So as we can kind of see up here, when it comes to the new listings, I mean, we can just look at those numbers and see, wow, there's been a jump from April 2023 to 2024. Obviously, there's more homes for sale, so that's improving the inventory number. So it's no surprise that the overall inventory of the homes for sale, that number is up pretty substantially. That's 48% year over year from April 2023. And again, that really kind of goes to show you how much pent up buyer demand there is, that even when the inventory jumps 48%, that we're actually still seeing a slight increase in that median home price. So in other words, people who bought their homes last year are actually seeing some appreciation in those homes, but even though there is some stabilization. And so that just really shows you how many buyers are still kind of pent up waiting on the sidelines. And if that's you, and you're wondering if now is a good time to buy, first off, that's only for you to answer in terms of affordability. So if you're wondering if right now is a good time to buy or sell, feel free to reach out. I'd love to have a conversation with you. And if right now is not the time for you, no big deal. Maybe we can run over some scenarios and see what might be the best scenario for you. So the last metric on this list here, kind of looking at the basic overview of the market here in May of 2024 through April, is the month supply of inventory. And if you see, we look back a year ago through April, there was 2 months of inventory, and no surprise, based on the numbers we've looked at, that number has improved by nearly 50%. So we're sitting at about 3 months of inventory, which that number basically means the number of homes sitting on the market, if we were to get no new listings with the same amount of buyer demand, the inventory that we have would last roughly 3 months. So one more thing I'd like to look at here is just this graph here, which represents the last 3 years. As you can see, once again, up 0.7% year over year through April of 2023 until now. But as you see here, just want to see, no surprises for a lot of people, but activity really tends to jump up in terms of sales, and buyers really get out around the summertime as the warmer months come around. That happened here in 23, that happened here in 22, happened here in 21. And as you can see, that trend line is moving up as we are entering into May. So we will see what that looks like as the months go on. I'm gonna continue doing these monthly market updates. I think that's probably the best way to go. Let me know if you'd be interested in that below. So guys, I really appreciate you joining me for this market update here in May of 2024. And I would definitely love to see you for the next one. And before then, I'll definitely see you for some other videos. So again, as always, guys, until next time, I certainly hope to see you soon. See ya.
Relocating.